Hola Madridistas, welcome to another La Liga episode of the Let's Be Real podcast. Today we have Javier. Javier, we haven't had you for a preview in a long time, man. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm great. It's great to be here with you for a preview. A change of from pace that actually we should we were together in the last episode, the post
Okay.
match
Yep.
against Chelsea, and always good to have you or be with you in the show.
Oh yeah, like the thing with previews is that you don't care about the result. Like it's all in the future, so you're not very emotional about what you're talking about. But exactly after a during a post match, especially after an important loss or an annoying game, it's going to be very emotional. So here, I'm not sure. Okay, I'll try to be as emotional as possible.
Yeah,
Okay,
I get it.
yeah.
It's different, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're playing it on your phone. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Let's. Oh no, I was just hearing feedback. Are you playing the audio from your phone?
Yeah, sorry. Was just
Not
checking
from.
the live stream.
All right, let's get into it. Like, have you been following the happenings of this week, Javier? I know we talked in the post match, but there was a Europa League to watch out for. Did you catch any of the games?
Yeah, for sure. I was watching the game, the wrong game actually. I was watching the Sevilla versus Man U, but I should watch the Roma versus Feyenoord. But yeah, I watched the entire once again the battle of Man U. I mean, it's funny that happened to them all alone. Like we're so lucky, like I said in the chat, like we're so lucky that that fax break down in the last minute, and we kept Kaylor, and the hair never came.
Yeah, man.
But like I said, it's not a big game guy. Sorry for him, but he's not.
Yeah, that was probably, like you said, the most important facts in the life of Real Madrid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Did you
didn't
watch
catch the
any
game.
of the games?
Oh yeah, I watched the Roma game. I didn't catch the Man U game, but I did catch the highlights. And of course, we can talk about hey, like Maguire is Maguire. He's like him and Upamecano are like vying for like the worst performances in the place. But De Gea was shocking, man. Like we all know he is not really good with his feet, but to do this in a Europa League game, come on. No, but did you catch any sightings of Casemiro? How was he? Why wasn't he able to like influence the match?
For me, watching Casemiro yesterday is like the only because Bruno Fernandes didn't play because he was suspended. But I think Casemiro was the only player yesterday that understand what a Europa League, Champions League match it's relevant. Was the only player for me like I saw that understand really what that truly meant, and he was trying, but he was without any help for whatsoever because, like I said, it's no Bruno. Rashford was injured, but I mean, if you compare this Sevilla side and this Man U side, even with all the not available players suspended and so, Man U should 9 out of 10 games should pass. But like we said, this Europa League is a different mindset, and I mean, truly only Casemiro showed to the standard. I might be biased because
Mm.
we all do love Casemiro, but yeah, it was hard for me to watch. Like I know I get it, I get what you are there because of money, but man, yeah, it
Yeah.
was tough. It was tough to watch.
No, but that's encouraging, right? Like we all are used to seeing these Real Madrid players who leave the club, like peter out and not really give good performances once they move. But Casemiro seems to be the only exception.
Yeah, he's truly earned his place at Manchester, and I think besides probably Bruno, like all around the new captain. Like just it was Maguire because, like I said, wasn't Bruno, and he was like I probably the second most expensive defender of all time. We don't emphasize enough these overpriced English players and Premier League players are insane. How on earth does Maguire cost 70 million? I don't understand. But yeah, I think Casemiro is going to be crucial for the truly renewal of Man U.
Yeah.
I think the project is somehow good, but they need to lose some players. They if they will start, I don't know, with probably just one, Baran or how was the name of the Argentinian?
Martinez.
Yeah, yeah, Lisandro. One of those two, but they start yesterday with Lindelof and Maguire, so it's not a good sign when you have your third and five option probably. Uh, But yeah,
Mm. Yeah, they look like the
I'm sorry for
on.
Man U, but
I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
sorry for Manu though.
I know, I know. I think I'm the only one in the panel that feels somehow sorry for Man U. But
Mm.
then again, I hope Roma wins it. I mean,
Yeah,
uh, I love Mourinho, and he's proved once again that he's a top manager. They he won the Conference League last year, and he's 3 games to winning the Europa League with a Roma side that never won any major trophy outside of Italy. So yeah, it's gonna be huge, and then he will be legend in another club. He's a legend at Inter, he's a legend at Chelsea, he's a legend at Real Madrid, I would say, and if, then again, man, you need to remember that the last time they won anything in Europa was under Mourinho. So
right. Wow, that is a throwback. But anyways, yeah, let's not keep talking about that failure of a club and get into some of the comments. So Dennis says, "Hala Madrid, pick up Javier and Jacob. I want to win tomorrow, and I will be anta Barca and Atleti on Sunday, as it is always, man. Like, I want to take a tiny moment of time to appreciate the greatness of Dennis because he is one who is here in for all of the previews and the post matches, and especially like it's really hard for a Madridista to tune into these La Liga matches when it doesn't really matter. But still, Dennis somehow makes it to all of them. And he also said, "Yeah, I'm so happy De Gea never came to us. He was so close to coming to us." Yeah, we talked about it. And yeah, he also says, "I watched the Man U game. Sevilla slapped United. It should have been like 5 or 6. I mean, El Nesiri was on fire. So right now, Sevilla are currently 13th in the league, and they are seeming to be on the upward swing. Who else like stood out for you in terms of Sevilla?"
I think Lamela played very good. I think. Yeah, like you said, Nesir scored the goals, but for me, the uh, Ocampos played as well, very good. What's the name of the full? No, the right back. He's Argentinian. Montiel, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. That guy drove Jadon Sancho. Once again, Jadon Sancho, another overpriced one season wonder. But yeah,
I mean, the thing with Jadon Sancho is that even we wanted him at one point because we are always out of like right wingers, and he seems so promising in Dortmund. Maybe he just needs a change of team. Is that the case, or is he just very average talent-wise?
no, I think because I watched him the seasons at Dortmund, almost every game, and he was, like truly a great player. But that's the difference between a good player and when he was on the spotlight. When Man U said like, "Okay, you're the next big thing," he didn't blossom. He already had like 3 managers, I think, and haven't worked with any of those.
Yeah.
So he still have time. I think probably a long deal will benefit him, but I don't see him returning to this truly potential. Like you saw, we want him. Every major club in Europe wants him, but not at that price. When you're over 1 million price, you bury it. you know, something on your back. You have a lot of baggage, and
Mm.
if you don't fulfill from the get go, you can end up being a washout. And for me, it's more on that way, but he still have time, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same with we talked about Joao Felix as well in some of the previous
Yeah.
and post matches. He's in a very similar position. Maybe he just needs the right system to, really get to his potential. But yeah, I'm gonna read some of the other comments. Like, yeah, this is big news. So Dennis the Great says Arsenal are losing to Southampton. This is so good. So City can focus on the league and try to be a little bit more distracted in the UCL.
I don't think so. I think it's not beneficial to us that Southampton is winning because, yeah, if we all know that if Arsenal, sorry, if Manchester City, sorry, uh, surpass Arsenal, that's the end. You
Yeah.
know, there's no way to Arsenal to recover. So if Man City is always trying to reach Arsenal, it will benefit us. But if it's the other way around, we all know that Arsenal is gonna bleed points if they're behind City. I think
Yeah.
so. So I think it's better for us that Arsenal keep
The
at
pressure.
first until the game they have. Like I know they City are one game under and they have to play to each other. So yeah, City depends on itself. So if Arsenal lose points with other clubs, that's it. That's the end for Arsenal. You know.
Mm. Yeah, so what you're exactly saying is it doesn't really matter how Arsenal does. City are just going to be focused on themselves, and they're just so good at it, right? They've been doing it for years. Like nothing seems, they especially like Sunit says in the post match. It's just these crunch parts of the season when they have a bunch of matches where they really get into gear and you know manage to win every single game. So yeah, man, I'm not sure then if Arsenal losing is going to actually help us. And yeah, I guess that's it for the comments. And Dennis also agrees with the fact that he hates Manu too. And hopefully, let's not talk about Mourinho so much that we jinx his victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
But in the other news, like I know it's not that out there yet, but because it's almost like only in Spain, but I follow a lot of Spain media and YouTubers and so. But the main thing that everyone are talking about is like them now they're saying that UEFA is probably not gonna suspend Barca. The like this the whole legal process is very confusing to even I that speak the language, but it's hard for me to understand because how the system works in Spain. Like they say like, oh, okay, they they cannot get in trouble in the sport department, but in the legal department, it's different, and UEFA could suspend it, and so and so. But
what does that
everything,
actually mean? Like, does that mean they're just gonna lose a bit more money? So they're gonna pull a little bit more levers?
yeah, not like that. I think they're talking like, okay, if they get like criminals jury, they're gonna probably get suspended as a team. Like they're not allowed to participate in La Liga. They will be allowed to participate in Copa del Rey, and so.
Oh
I
wow.
mean, it's so much deeper than a few millions here and there. But then again, they said like the trial would go like 6 or 7 years. So, uh, but UEFA have the possibility to suspend it right away, like 1 year, 3 years, or even like give the trophies away from them. Like the ones that they earn from mid early 21st century until 2018. So all but one of them, the one
Yeah.
that they won in '93. So a lot of things can happen, but it seems like for me at least, it's like it's probably gonna take so long that everyone is gonna forget what happened and they can carry on. And now they say like, okay, we're gonna put a lot of leverage and bring Messi, and have like these 200 million for Messi and so, and they
What
talking
the hell?
about like, they already have an agreement with Gundogan, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna bring players.
Mm,
So in in a domino effect for me is if they get Gundogan, it's game over for us for Bellingham because
exactly.
Man City is gonna go full. They're full force to get Bellingham, and it's a great deal, Gundogan, who is I don't know 30, 32 or so, versus Bellingham that is 19. He's English. He's for me is better. So Barca could give another favor to Man City. They give it away. Ferran, they give it away. Kaiser Garcia, and now they seem endlessly trying to benefit City and not themselves. They still haven't reached an agreement with Araujo and Gabi. So yeah, that's the news from Barca side because for us, I don't, we don't have any news. I don't know if that's good or not.
I mean,
It's not.
today we did have a bit of a news. Okay, so I was going to get into it while you were talking about Ancelotti's scores for the pre-match, but he did talk about Gabriel Vega. Are you familiar with this play? So he was saying that Gabriel Vega was such a nice player. Maybe they're kind of watching him. So that's like part of the dominoes for me, right? So if they're not really looking at Bellingham, like why would they go for another midfielder? So I feel like the Bellingham train has kind of passed us,
I don't. I want to believe. For me, it's. Last year, I was fully hoping for Haaland. Like I said a million times before, I'm a Dortmund fan, and I truly saw what potential Haaland could be, and we all saw it that. And we're gonna face him. I don't want to face Bellingham. I know how truly great he can be. I hope he um, came to Madrid to the project. I mean, once again, it's the project versus the money. But once again, if you ask me, if I'm Bellingham, I would probably go to City. Like we said, his starting position is almost guaranteed if Gundogan leaves, and he's playing for his country. His reunion with Haaland. He's being coached by Guardiola. I mean, yeah, our badge weighs a lot, but probably not that much. Like it
mm.
probably it happened with Chamonix. I think they could happen with Bellingham, but I'm not that sure. So
Yeah,
but,
especially with
but
the
let's
fact that, yeah, you're right. This just came into my mind because Cruz renewed recently, and that means that he's still going to have probably a good starting position for most of the matches. And I just don't see who else can be dropped at that point. Valverde is not going to like stop playing. Cruz and Modric, at least one or two of them are going to play. And who are you going to drop? If especially if Camavinga is on there,
Yeah, I mean the renewal of Tony Cross. I think, if you ask me, is a contentious plan. I renew Cross. If Bellingham came, I will sit once again with Tony and ask, okay, Tony, what do you want to do? You know, did you want to stay another year and fight for your position, play because all of them are gonna play, but Kroos and Modric, okay, guys, so we renewed you in May or April, but we didn't know that if we're gonna get Bellingham. Okay, now we have Bellingham, we're gonna talk again, and they will be allowed if they want to leave, they want to retire, they have the open doors. Like they can call Florentino Perez at 2 a.m. and say like, okay, man, this is over. I want to leave, and they will okay, have a have a good life. You will always be welcome here. Like it's not that because we all know that Tony said it and Lucas said like, if I ever gonna leave Real Madrid, it's because I'm retired.
right?
So it's beneficial to us to renew them because we need them until we don't. I don't know if
Mm.
you understand what I'm trying to say. Like, if one more piece came to the Real Madrid era, I mean, it's also not in talks to renew Ceballos. So if we don't renew Ceballos, okay, it's one place we need to fulfill. So probably like Bellingham or so Kane, it's we still have the same midfielders. I I I think I want to have a Danny and Bellingham because I don't see like mm, because if we still have to play with Tony and Luca one more year, it's one more year and then we're gonna lose two midfielders,
Yep.
you know. So I would probably prefer to have one extra, one seventh midfield for a season than have to replace two in 2 seasons. So and they can like Chouamini and Camavinga, like just absorb all the information that those two could teach the whole world of football, and they will, like two of the most influential midfielders in this century,
Yeah.
probably in history.
Yeah, man. Like the thing with Bellingham, like Sunil is saying, the Bellingham signing is a move we should only move for if he pushes for it. And the problem is, the Dortmund way is to go for the big bucks, especially if it's someone like Real Madrid who asks for the player. So yeah, man, he's definitely going to cost at least 150 million. Like, do you see any other young players who can fill that void for us? Because that was what Carlo Ancelotti was talking about. He was talking about Gabriel Vega. The people, a lot of people are asking for Florian Wirtz. So there's other names who
Yeah,
might be
but
much cheaper.
it's not at the same level, like we can buy like like we also what happened with when you buy uh, a one step down
Are you talking
striker.
about Jovic?
We,
Jovic? Okay.
yeah, yeah. We all know what happened. A 60 million striker is not the same as a 100 million striker, and we also the difference between Jovic and I'm not comparing with Haaland because no one can compare with Haaland, but someone like I don't know Harry Kane would be in 100 million. Um, this the difference between Lewandowski and Choupo-Moting is big teams need big players. So I would prefer to wait or spend 100 million in one player than 50 in two. You can only like these gambles that we do with Rodrigo and Bini, they're great, but uh, they can also fail like Rainier or the other Brazilians. And we all hope that what's the name of this? I forgot the name. The new Brazilian, the 16-year-old.
Oh no, man. Like there's too many Brazilian
Audio
names flying.
Soccer.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the bet. The thing is you need to bring consolidated players and also bet for the Nick big star.
Yeah.
But because if you try to pursue like good enough players, good enough players are gonna cost you insane amount of money because you are Real Madrid. You're gonna give him them status, and they're gonna cost you a lot of millions. Like we also like Marianos and Odrio Solas, and these players that don't put anything. They just cost you money
Yeah.
and big money. Like 30 millions for a bad player is 30 millions. Would you rather spend 100 in a pivotal player that for the next 10 years? Yeah, for sure. I would spend 150 for Bellingham. I
Yeah.
truly, I will truly do because once again, this next summer is no way we can bring Haaland. There's no way we can bring Mbappe. So for the roles that we need to fulfill and the options that we have, it's Bellingham or nothing. I would truly say like Bellingham or I said we need a right back, but you can spend 100 million in Bellingham and 30, 40 so for a good right back.
Yeah. 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 That
We
totally
I,
makes sense.
I hope we can somehow manage to make this summer interesting. Like we all have like very boring summers in terms of transfer, but it's working great for us. I don't know if you saw the one post on Twitter that like have in the past I think it was like 10. this whole campaign of Real Madrid, there's 13 seasons, like the amount of the net spend of every team, and uh, I would think is PSG at number one with most money spent. It's no
They're not
surprise.
even in the top 10, right?
No, we're in. I think it was 140 something like that, with a net spend like plus 17 millions. You know, like
Wow.
those teams are over $1 billion spent, and we're at 70 million. Like it's insane how well that Florentino managed to
Get rid
bring
of
the
players at the right time. That's been very key for them.
one. I mean, like we all do, like 100 millions for Cristiano was like okay, it's your biggest star, but it's 100 million. Then again with Varane, like then again with even Casemiro
Yeah,
was a crucial player. Di Maria, Ozil, and we can all talk about the sales of Real Madrid that so often they not don't perform well outside Real Madrid. You know, it's 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 not even like a fair comparison between how great they were at Real Madrid and how bad they were outside Real Madrid.
exactly. Well, yeah, I hear you. I think most fans and also feel this way that Bellingham is so valuable, it doesn't matter the amount of money that we spend. It's just so that we get a world-class player. But anyways, yeah, I feel like we've been rambling on about the transfer season and future, but let's come back
Yeah.
into the present. So we are
And
gonna,
I just,
oh,
sorry,
go
I
ahead.
just remember one thing, Jacob. I will add that I was reading at in Reddit with for a Dortmund forum. They were like they said like us Real Madrid want to give them a player for the Bellingham deal. Like it was
Brahim Diaz. Oh, wait, we just
bad
lost
option,
Brahim.
for both of them. They need a winger, I think, and he probably gonna play the Champions League final. He's number 10 at Milan. I mean, he's not a bad player. I don't think I don't saw him as a Real Madrid player, but I would totally see him at Dortmund.
Yeah,
He,
especially in a very fast-paced league like Bundesliga, where the defending is a bit more lax, he could do a real damage there.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's get back into reality. We are gonna be facing Celta de Vigo, who are 12th in the league, and we are 11 points off the top. And the fact is that like you were alluding to this in the post-match last time, but you said Barca are dropping a couple of points here and there. Do you think we realistically still have a chance? Ancelotti and the players seem to have actually given up on that, but do
Yeah.
you, as a fan, feel like there's a chance?
I mean, if you ask me, now they have like 95% of chance of winning La Liga. If they lose against Atletico, I would probably say like they still have 91% of chance. So every game is important because every game that they lose points, it would be good for us. But I think what is like what 10 games left,
9 games left now, yeah.
9 games, and we're like, yeah, I mean mathematically it's still possible, but I still if Barca wins against Atletico, I would say like it's 99.999% of them winning La Liga. The only uh, truly, like more, not only wishful, but truly, I think they could lose to Atletico. But
Okay,
then again, I
but
just feel
wait.
like that
Uh, we
they
have,
didn't lose to Atletico in like 10 years or so
yeah.
at Camp Nou.
I mean, yeah, there's Farooq in the chat saying there's no chance in hell. Stop it, Jacob. I mean, yeah, I was about to say, you talked about 95% of them like winning. I think it's more like 99.99, unless like something catastrophic happens. They lose like a bunch of defenders at the back. They're going to win, man, and it's not like we are actually going to be winning all of these games. We have to focus on the Copa del Rey. We have to focus on the UCL, keeping up players fit. So I don't think it's happening. We're going to drop a few points here and there, and it's going to be fine. I'm fine with that. and I actually think we have literally 0.0001 chance of winning the league.
Yeah, I think it's more even more possible that we lose the second place than the fact
Yeah,
that we're gonna win La Liga. So
that is so true, man. With Atletico's uptick in form, they, that seems more and more probable.
yeah, but let's see. Like I don't know, I don't think it can happen in the next games. I mean, Barca is imploding. I mean, they cannot get all around with all the outside of the pitch problems. Atletico is in a good form, and we're gonna focus, like you said, in a Copa and Champions League. So anything can happen, but I still think it's Barca is gonna win, and we're gonna end up second. So
Okay.
it's gonna be a little bit more interesting than we all expect, but the result is gonna be the same.
Yeah, man, we just have to accept reality. Ancelotti definitely has. He did say think the exact same thing you did. We just have to keep fighting for La Liga because Atletico is right behind us and they're in a good moment of form. So yeah. You wanna start talking about a bit of Celta?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm wearing my Tony Cross shirt. I still. We should talk about the his favorite team to score. I mean, I don't expect him to start, but I think every starting man is gonna have some minutes. Like we all read in the chat and we all talk about like how we should rest everyone, but I don't think we shouldn't. You know, we should rest everyone, but not for a full game, or like these rotations need to happen, but every single player needs to be fit and with the competitive way. So as long as we need to rest them, we also don't need to rest them that much.
Hmm.
So especially with Modric, Kroos, Benzema, these older players that they don't have the physical form to play every single 3 games, 3 days, sorry, and
Yeah.
especially in the next 2 weeks that we're gonna play like. I still think there's some hope that they're gonna move the Copa del Rey final, so we should could play Thursday in the Champions League,
Yeah.
because I was reading just a few minutes ago that yeah, UEFA said like no man, you're gonna play on Tuesday, so they of course UEFA is not gonna help us. So they say like I don't know who's the in charge of La Copa. I think it's the La Federación, not La Liga.
RFA, RFA.
Yeah, so probably Rubiales will help us and move the game, because Osasuna, they already said like we don't have any problem if you move one day. So let's all hope, because it's the most important week. Like this title, it's a title. It's Osasuna, it's a title, and then it's the the crucial game for us. Like we say, like we need to focus on the first game against City. So this game against Celta, it's almost like a continuation. I mean, for the uh, last 20 minutes of the game against Chelsea, like almost like a training, because
Mm.
not they will not risk losing any big games. I mean, I'm hoping that starts with uh, trying with the defense that we need to, the center defense that we need to play against City. Like Rudiger plus Nacho, or yeah, because Alaba is injured. We all know that Militao is not going to play against City, so I would love to watch Rudiger and Nacho to have a few minutes, like here and there, because I don't want to watch them play alongside for Manchester City without any practicing games. And even if Alaba is recovered, okay, so it's Alaba plus Rudiger, or Alaba plus Nacho, or Nacho and Rudiger, but we need to give them minutes.
Yep.
We need to give them rest to Danny, so I expect Lucas. And in the midfield, I would probably
Javier,
go.
Javier. You basically talked about all of my points that I had noted down, and you
Yeah,
started talking about the lineups as well, like exactly line to line. How is this possible? But
we are
yeah,
connected, man. We're connected.
let's discuss the line to, a bit after that. I just like let's talk about Celta a bit more. You were initially talking about your favorite moments with Celta. Yeah, the Cruz thing is like one of my all-time favorites. He has had some bangers against Celta. But does any other thing come to mind? I remember Cristiano getting a couple of hat-tricks here and there. The 4-1 victory, a 4-2 victory, maybe a 3-3 draw. You remember that game where Ramos got sent out?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind when we're facing Celta is how hostile is Balaidos to us. Like, it's one of the most hostile environments. I know we're playing at Bernabeu, but yeah, Celta at home is very different than Celta away. I think they didn't win at Bernabeu for the past, I don't know, 20 or so years. And they, so more often than not, they struggle with relegation. Like you said, they're comfortable in 12th place, like so uh, without of risk of losing the going second division, and so far that they cannot reach European places. So they're very comfortable in that position. I mean, their season is already saved because Celta is one of those teams that, without relegation, they're already saved. Anything above that, it's almost like a trophy, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it certainly is. And we have Arpit in the chat. He asked us thoughts on the Copa del Rey final and the UCL semi-final, first leg being 2 and 3 days apart. Yeah, Javier was talking about it. So you want to take it away, Javier? Like,
Yeah, just like I mean, like I said, I hope the federation moves the Copa del Rey, but if they're not, okay, let's face it. Fortunately for us, is in Sevilla, and then we go back to Madrid. So the travel is not gonna cut because we'll need to focus in those 72 hours. Like
yeah,
if nothing changed, we only have 72 hours. I hope, like I said, a starting 11 against Osasuna. Hopefully, they get the job done and sub everyone at the 60th minute or so.
sub everyone and
Like,
wrap everyone up in wool.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, especially like I said, the guys like Benz, Modric, and Kroos, because I think they're gonna start both the games. So especially these three, and then just watch how the game goes. I don't think Bini would get trouble for resisting the two games. I mean, Bini is one hell of a football player. Fede is not. Thibaut is not going to have the problems. Militao is going to play the full 90 minutes against Osasuna. So, yeah, a lot of rotations, and the starting men against Osasuna should do more than enough, like outplay themselves to end up the game. If we can end up the game in the first 45 minutes, better than in the 60, better than the 70 minutes,
Yeah.
And for City, let's hope there no injuries and everything, everyone, so it's somehow rested. But yeah, I don't know what you think about this
I
this
mean,
week, important week.
I think I agree with Ancelotti's quote. So he said, "Come on, like we know UFR aren't helping any of the players. They're not really protecting any of the players. But it is what it is. I feel like we faced this situation multiple times, even last season and the season before that. We are used to playing every 3 days, and I think the team is just going to get it done, man. No matter if we start, and then even if it's going to be a tough game against Osasuna, the players are going to be switched on for the Champions League." And we
Yeah,
certainly do have the depth, especially in midfield. Even if like Cruz and Modric run their heart out, we still have backup, really good backups to, come and sub on for them in the second half.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, only the only thing that I will feel sorry is that we don't have Mendy to those
Mhm.
games. I don't think so. So Mendy would be benefit to
Yeah,
whoever's at left back.
Yeah, that is my only fear as well. Like, one thing is Mendy, the left back Kamavinga. I think he's got it, man. Maybe against City, I'm not sure, but I think he's got it for now. The thing is, we're going to be sweating a lot about Alaba's fitness. So the timeline right now is at 2 weeks. Do you think a half-fit Alaba is going to be better against Man City than Rudiger
No,
or not? So?
the only one that thinks that is Sonny. I mean, I would love to watch a better Rudiger that we all saw this season, but the second half of the game against Chelsea, I think he was a very solid performance by Rudiger. You know, he's not the most stylish or the most
We have to
good with
also
the
remember,
ball.
like, yeah, that is one thing. But I later went back and watched that match, and Rodrigo was the one who actually played it to Rodrigo, who played it to Valverde, and you know, that's how the second goal
Oh,
was made. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's not our best player with the ball, but it's certainly a good defender, and we all the only thing that we need him to do that game is to defend somehow Haaland. You know, you're asking a guy to somehow stop Haaland. I think that no team can do at this moment. Probably Rudiger has the key. Who knows? I mean, a fully fit Rudiger is better than a 90% Alaba. So
right.
uh, below that, Alaba, I don't think so. Especially with this season, I said like this season, Alaba is nowhere near his last season. Like no way.
Really
I
happy.
mean,
Like I thought. Wait, since Alaba came back, our defense has like really solidified at the back. It's not like Alaba's like putting out like really these crunching tackles or anything, but he has really talked to the rest of the defense and solidified us at the back. If he doesn't play, he's going to be missing that way for us. But we're going to lose that organization. And Nacho is a very silent defender. He's very rash. He might commit mistakes. And Rudiger, Rudiger, like, I mean, he's just a headless. You can only get two versions of Rudiger. Either he's a headless chicken or he's the next incarnation of Pepe.
yeah, I mean, if you ask me if Alaba is fully fit, I I will probably start with for Man City game. Uh, Rudiger partnership with Alaba and Nacho and Dani, instead
Mhm.
of Camavinga. So if Alaba is fully rest, I will move Nacho to the left side to the fullback position. But if Alaba is not fit, I will still have the option of Nacho there, and yeah, I don't see how can we can manage to, because one our best defender is suspended, and the second option is injured. So we'll most certainly need to improvise. You know,
Yeah,
and if you are gonna improvise, I would prefer to have Nacho as a fullback and not give the responsibility to Camavinga to cover for Bruno or Grealish or Mares. I mean, we can ask him to cover, Gallagher and João Felix and so, but
yeah,
or even, like Ferran Torres or Rafinha, but it's not the same. It's not the same level of the attackers that Man City had. So I
totally get
don't
that.
I don't think the benefit of putting Camavinga in the spotlight. I don't, especially if he haven't he's don't have the cover for Militao, because Militao can cover so much. So
Exactly. Yeah, man. Like, if we are going to go face Man City without any of Alaba or Militao or Militao. The thing is, we need to get all of these players like Rudiger, Nacho, and who else is going to be okay? Maybe even Lucas Vázquez. We don't know if Carvajal might get a knock here or there, but these guys should get at least a few good minutes in every single game. So we're going to be facing Celta after this. It's Girona, Almeria, Sociedad. That is going to be a real test for Rudiger and Nacho if they play the CB positions. And then finally Osasuna. So I feel like it's a good run up to face Man City for these two centre back pairings.
yeah, yeah, truly, yeah. These games is not we're like we said, we're not risking the title. We're not risking anything. So yeah, uh, try everything, every single combination that you have. Like like if Mendy is fit for the Real Sociedad game, okay, put Mendy a few minutes. If he recovers earlier, put him against Girona, put it against, like even if it's 10, 15 minutes, you need to prove everyone. You even have to play Vallejo, okay, let's do it. Because like you said, you have like what, 4 games to improvise, 5 games earlier than City, so you need to make something out of it. And
Yeah.
the other thing that I was thinking of, like, if you wanna, the only way that I saw that a team can somehow manage to stop Haaland is if he's not getting the ball.
Mm.
So the only thing that will help us to not get the ball to Man City is have one more in the midfield. Probably sacrifice Rodrigo,
Oh
because
wow.
I'm not happy with that. But I will sacrifice Rodrigo and put Tchouaméni in. So or Camavinga, and you have
No,
Fede,
but
Tony.
it's you have to remember like this is Bernabeu we're talking about. We're first having it home right at first, the first leg. And it's going to be
Yeah.
so crucial that we get at least a goal or two because the Etihad is not going to be easy at all. It's almost going to be impossible to score more goals than Man City. And the fact is that we have to kind of think about scoring goals. And if Rodrigo is not there, I don't see where the goals are coming from. Especially since City have really solidified at the back this year. It's not like the last year of that we faced City. They're not going to give out 4 goals against us.
I, I mean, I know that we need to score more goals at the Bernabeu. I totally agree with that with you, but I'm thinking like, okay, if you have one more extra man in the midfield, it's it's easier to Modric to be in a more creative role. It's
Yeah,
easier to turn into long pass Vini and Benzema. I mean, and Fede has a very good striking, and he scored a lot of goals. I
true.
mean, I I will, like I said in the post match for Chelsea, if you're gonna lose Militao, you need to restructure the whole team. Not it's not is he's so important for us that it's not position for position. He changed absolutely the whole defense, and I think the whole system need to change.
Mm.
It's and also it's not a system that we don't know,
Yeah,
you know, like so many important games in this season. Fede was the right wing, so if Fede is the right wing instead of Rodrigo, that can only means one thing: that Fede will cover when we need to defend, and Fede will attack. And in the second half, a well-rested Rodrigo will be better than a 90 minutes Rodrigo
mm.
without Militao.
That is very true. Yeah, man.
Let
Like,
I mean, I can only hope that we have these options. Like no one is injured, and we have this option. Like you said earlier, like we have so many options at the midfield that for me, I don't know if you agree with me, but at this moment in time is our strongest, you know, uh,
literally.
system, the midfield.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. One thing that I would like to actually talk about in like before moving to Celta is that we need to get Xiaomini like into really good match fitness and in really good form as well in these last 4 games because I feel like if he plays against Man City at least like a majority of minutes, we can like protect against Haaland a little bit more.
Yeah, and he will cover. Like this. He plays very good against a center forward because he tends to go back and help the center backs. So I mean, and he has a lot of cover. I mean, I said a few times before that I love watching the partnership with Tchouaméni and Camavinga in the center role.
Yeah,
Like for me, it would be great to saw them together. Plus Fede and Modric. I will substitute Tony probably because we need the creativity for Luca. And then, like I said again, okay, if it's not working for you, you can sub any of those and bring Tony and or even Ceballos. You know, if you need
Yeah,
creativity, you have creativity. If you need strong, if you need a long pass, you have it. If you need to carry the ball, you have two of the most interesting players. You know, Kamavinga is truly special. Fede is world class. So you have those two options. And against Gundogan, I would probably bet on Tchouaméni to get past him. You know, the only thing that, once again, if Bruno, sorry, no, not Bruno, is Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish have a good game, they're gonna
holy shit.
feel, you're gonna feel belly, Haaland to the, yeah, to his core. We need, you know, Haaland is not good with the ball,
I
but
mean,
he's so technical.
yeah, he
So
is
if
very
we,
technical. That's the thing. We can't just like keep focusing on Haaland. Like Dennis says in the chat, he says we have to be smart, not just trying to stop Haaland, because that will give space to other players like Foden, Grealish, and we must of course stop Kevin De Bruyne.
yeah, I mean, it's a bet. You know, the thing is, Haaland is not Benzema. You know, Benzema can provide to himself. Haaland needs two other players to provide. So if you focus your attention to stop Haaland, you're gonna lose. But if you focus your attention to stopping Bernardo, Kevin De Bruyne, Grealish, Foden, Gundogan, you need to stop the guys that give the ball to Haaland. You know,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
need to stop Haaland. You need the guy, the last pass before Haaland, because if Haaland has the ball, it's already, you know, like he already scores.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah, man. I don't know how this became a preview for Manchester City, but just that's just how it goes. But
Yeah,
because even Real Madrid as a club, we are always looking towards that game 2 weeks down the line. Uh, I think all the players are
but
going to be like very focused on their fitness, just not take too many risks for the Celta game.
I mean, like you said earlier, like we cannot try to not watch the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room is Man City.
Yeah,
Every single game, every single minute. If a guy gets injured, oh, he's gonna be fit for Man City. If I don't know, Benzema is not scoring, oh, he's gonna be starting for Man City. You know, like if Kurta have a flu, oh, he's gonna be great for Man City. Every single decision, every single moment until that point is gonna be Man City, and I'm worried because focusing in Man City and losing the perspective of the Copa del Rey. I
yeah,
mean, like I think you said it, like it's the title that is closest to us at this moment in time. It's a title that we didn't win for the past 10 years or so. So probably focus on City will benefit the whole mindset for the Copa. You know, they will be more relaxed for the Copa because they will saw uh, that game like, okay, almost like a training to Man City.
yeah,
I'm not trying to be disrespectful for Osasuna, but if you if you game plan for Man City, you can somehow replicate it in the first, like I said, in the first half, first 60 minutes against City. It will be perfect, a perfect run out, you know, because you need to play the final against Osasuna like with the same intensity that you need to play against City. For Osasuna, it will be uh, more than enough, probably, but for City, it will be the bare minimum.
yeah,
So that's the huge difference in games and in tactics and everything. You know, like if you ask me, I would rush these games to next week. I will play Osasuna and City next week because this momentum we have everyone except Alaba fit.
yeah. That's
So
true.
I don't know what will happen in the next few weeks, but yeah,
But yeah, let's just not talk about the next few weeks. Let's just not jinx it. Let's just take it game by game, which is exactly what Ancelotti must have also told his players. I know there's a lot of things going on, but just focus on this game. Speaking about, let's talk about Celta again. So
yeah.
right now, Celta play a 4-4-2 with mostly Iago Aspas and Seferovic playing up front. And of course, they have the up and coming talent, Gabriel Vega as well. So he seems really good. He seems like a good Modric type player where he's very good in transitions. The only thing that I see as a weakness in his game is his distribution. It's not as accurate and as, of course, as good as Modric, but he's still very young at 20 years old. The problem that we might face in this game, like just looking at their highlights and their the goals and assists, like Aspas is like of course going to be a false nine as we are very used to in past games, and Seferovic and the rest of the players make a lot of runs into the ball when Javi Galan, their left back, plays that cross in. Even in the last game against them, where we won 2-1, do you remember Nolito scoring and it was Javi Galan who actually provided the assist? So that combination with Carvajal and not really gelling Rudiger or Nacho, whoever plays there, is going to be very very crucial for us.
I I I don't think uh, I don't, like I said, I don't want to jinx it, but I don't truly see a very good Celta performance. I don't know why. I just they will have their chances probably. Like I think Yago Aspas scores like I don't know 10, 12 goals against us.
Yeah.
But
He's
like I
not the
said,
same
this
player that he used to be. Since coming back, he hasn't really clicked. He doesn't do all of those things that we're so used to him doing. So he used to be the one who starts the counter attack, plays it out to the wing, takes all of those free kicks and puts it at pinpoint accuracy. He's just not that player anymore. He's just this false nine who stays at the edge of the box and tries to feed in players.
and also like I said earlier, like this this lack of anything that they like I said they are not struggling with relegation.
Yeah,
So this lack of motivation, like you said, like, for these kind of teams that struggle with relegation, it's like okay, they're crossing the game against Barca, against Madrid, probably against Atletico. And okay, these are not our fights. If we
well, yeah. Hope.
outperform them, but
Mm. No,
we hope they're not.
the problem with these relegation teams is that Celta are just 7 points away from relegation, and it's this La Liga season has been so close in terms of points. So even from the 12th position, I feel like they're only like 15 or 16 points away from us, which is almost the difference between us and Barcelona. Like that's crazy to me, and it just goes to show how competitive the bottom half of the La Liga table has been this season.
Or how mediocre everyone is. Like because if you remember, Sevilla was struggled with relegation for a long time. I really hope Valencia is going down.
They are going down
So
for sure, man. There is no doubt. I don't think so. Like they just don't seem like they have the fight in it anymore.
it will be almost like a title for me to watch Valencia go down, and I can only hope that Valencia and Sevilla would go down at the same time. It would
Come
be,
on, Sevilla,
you
man.
know,
Come on. You can't have that.
I truly hate Sevilla, but yeah, being realistically speaking, I think it's gonna be Espanyol. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like they have a Mexican player there, so yeah. I mean, this Celta, because like I said, if Celta goes to the Bernabeu, they're like, oh, okay, we're 7 points clear of the relegation, and we still have to face some of those teams. So I would rather focus on beating Cadiz or beating Valencia than beating Real Madrid. You know what I mean?
That's
If
true. I mean,
if they were in 18 or 17 position, it will be a lot different. They will
that's
just
true.
fully focus and blast on. But they're like, okay, we have comfortable 7 points ahead of the 18
Relegation.
play. So okay, let's focus on the games ahead. I, I mean, it will. I think it's almost like a game that no one wants to play.
Mm. No one.
For it, I think that.
Let's just hope. Okay, players do turn up, and I just hope like at least a few fans turn out to the game. Just to
Yeah,
encourage the players and the fringes of the team. So people who are like trying to break into the
I
first
think it's
11.
gonna start. Hazard or something like that. You know, like throw a bone to Hazard or Vallejo or Odriozola. These kind of guys that don't play very often. Like, oh, you want to start? Okay, let's start you against Celta.
Yeah, it could
And
very
who
well be
knows?
the thing. Yeah, Celta are missing one of their most important players as well. In that, in he's Hugo Mayo. He's their most important threat from the right wing because he can put a mean ball in, and he's always kind of shown that he can deal with Vinny a little bit more better than other fullbacks. So he's going to be a big miss for them. Uh, the problem with Celta is that they're so inconsistent right now. So the last three games they've drawn two, lost one. Can you guess which team they lost against?
Mm,
They lost against
Barca?
they lost to against Espanyol, man. Like the team were like rock bottom in the relegation. So I don't think they can really afford to lose a lot more points. But of course, they will be looking to lick their lips against the smaller teams, like you said. I just don't know. We should be able to get it done, get the job done, unless we make a few catastrophic errors and unless Iago Aspas rises up from the grave and turns back the years to over maybe 2016 or 2017.
Yeah, it's like almost like Oselo. These kind of players that they don't score to anyone and they like play like through the reincarnation of Pele and Maradona against Real Madrid. I don't get it.
Okay, and yeah, we also have Danielson Emmanuel in the chat. He says, "I'm just watching Arsenal bottle their lead to City right now." So yeah, does not look good, man. Southampton City having the upper hand.
So you agree with them or you agree with me that Arsenal losing points
No,
it's better for us
I don't
or
think it
what?
matters. It's not going to be like either of those. It's just going to be same. It doesn't matter what Arsenal does. City are going to be City, man. There's no change about it. Because we might have like we as a team we are very volatile, right? We don't have, probably have a system of play that we use against every team. We approach the opponent and then mold our game based off of that. City are not like that. They always have like a medium game. They don't have like a low flow. So it does not matter how Arsenal play or even City play in the league against us. They're still gonna play the same performance.
Mm, true.
Yeah. And Dennis asks, Jacob and Javier, what do you feel about Madridistas online shamelessly saying Opa Atleti to help us get closer to Barcelona? If they are saying Opa Atleti, they are not true Real Madrid fans.
Yeah, true. I will never spoke those words. I I hope the. I mean, I understand the feeling behind supporting Atletico this Sunday,
Yeah.
but like I said, I would probably hope for them both to lose points. If you ask
That's
me,
not
if I
possible
have
though.
to, yeah, if I have to support anyone, I will support for that game. You know, probably
Barca.
yeah. No, probably Atletico because
Mm.
I mean, if I can reach to a grasp of hope, I will do so.
Don't, Javier, don't give these guys hope.
You are the first one that always trying to give us hope.
I mean, I would give us hope if it was a bit more earlier in the season, even if the points gap was so much. If we had a lot more games, I would certainly. But it's just the final end of the season, and we have the fucking semi-final coming up. We just shouldn't have hope, man. Fuck it. Let's just forget about
Yeah,
the league.
that's true. So yeah, and also to give comment to Dennis, it's hard for a lot of fans to understand the true rivalry of Atletico and Madrid if you don't live or ever been to Madrid. You know, with these derbies mean so much to the people of the country, but somehow tend to lose a little of momentum in the long scheme. You know, like everyone says, like, oh, Barca and Madrid are the biggest rivals to each other. I don't know, man. I've been to a game in the Calderon, obviously with not with my Real Madrid shirt, but it's intense, you
Wait,
know.
Javier, wait, hold on. Did you wear an Atletico shirt?
No. I was wearing, like a regular shirt without any sort of logo. No,
God,
no.
God.
No, no, I will never own an Atletico shirt. Never, never, never. Not
All right.
even in a bet. I used to have a Barca shirt for sure. I'm not proud of it, but I used to have one.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh, my grandma gave me the Rafa Marquez shirt, and I said like, "Oh, cool, grandma! You give me a Mexican player that plays for the team that I hate the most." But uh,
but I understand the sentiment, and you just have to be
yeah, yeah,
gracious at that time.
yeah, yeah.
Do you still have the shirt?
No, I outgrown it, so
Oh,
I
got it, got it.
probably give it to charity or something like that.
Nice. And Dennis says, yeah, Javier, I lived in Madrid for my early childhood. I hate Atleti a lot as well. I have Madrid friends. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I truly understand the feeling. It's almost like that rivalry. It's is more rooted to the people. I mean, they hate Barca for sure, but this is a neighbor thing. You know, like you hate your neighbor whenever they can. You can, you know, like, and also the two Champions League finals
Yeah.
are like milestones. Fortunately for us, like Thibaut said, we're on the right side of history. But I mean, they hate our God, and if Cholo can help Barca to win La Liga, I mean, they're obviously almost partnership teams. You know, like this changes from Griezmann to every player that Luis Suarez. They swap players like I I don't saw happening that much. You know, like it's almost like Liverpool is giving City players
Mm,
to fuck United. It's so rare to be like yeah. It's almost like Milan. Well, Milan and Juventus and they swap players a lot.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, and we have Lolo Lolo in the chat as well. He says stopping De Bruyne is the key. Of course, we talked about that. But it's not just De Bruyne, isn't it? They have so many ways of hurting us, and especially places where we're vulnerable. I'm talking about Carvajal getting beaten and Camavinga as well, both for different reasons.
Mm, I remember the last time that we faced City. I think the knockout, the biggest regret for Pep was bringing out Kevin De Bruyne earlier in that game.
Yeah.
I think when he saw Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, he didn't expect us to score two goals, but if he was allowed to go back in time, he would never substitute Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason that they lose the final against Chelsea was the Kevin De Bruyne injury. So yeah, I know what they mean. It's they the player that if we can somehow stop, it will be crucial to us. If we only can stop one, I think we should focus on Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, that's a fast shout. All right. I guess we talked mostly about Celta. Of course, last time, do you remember how we won? We actually got three penalties in the game. And Benzema scored two and missed one.
Yeah, it's a little back in memory lane, but yeah,
Oh,
now that you mention it, I think we wore the black shirt,
yeah,
right?
we did. Yeah.
Yeah, we I love those. I have that jersey, and we are not playing that enough. I mean, I
Mm.
love to.
At least we
Uh,
brought out the black socks for the Chelsea game.
yeah, yeah, I don't
Uh,
like the combination truly.
mm, yeah, it's very
Uh,
polarized. Doris loved it. I loved it. Sunil said it was weird. Who else? Farooq also said it was very weird. Yeah.
yeah, but do you have not a prediction because I we can say it later, but do you have like the outcome that you want to see? Obviously, a
Mm.
win, but in terms of what do you want to see in the game? Uh,
For me,
yeah,
I would like to see Chaumini have a really good game. Of course, we have to test our new backline, makeshift backline. So obviously, a clean sheet will be really great. But even a really good defensive performance with like conceding a goal is fine. Right? I don't really feel like we need a win here. I'll be fine with even with a draw. But I just want to see an entertaining game of football. But these three players, Nacho, Rodriguez, and Tchouaméni, they should have a really good game.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, it's almost like you know if we can somehow improve a moral boost, I will choose those three players as well. You know, because everyone else don't need that moral boost. Schwamini, especially, I would say Schwamini and Rudiger need it. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, like Dennis says, I want Tchouaméni to start getting some form. I think he would be a good impact sub against City.
yeah, I mean that's our bet for this season. You know, the improvement that Schwamini can bring, and for the first part of the season, he was like, "Oh my God, this guy is was a bargain." It seems like the best thing. I still think it's a very good first season that could end up great or could end up somehow uh, good without like a six or so. So yeah, I mean, if we somehow manage to give them a moral boost or himself, you know, because I truly believe that himself is more capable than anyone to be to feel important to this team, or even who knows, tries to earn his place in the starting 11 for the Copa. And if he outperforms everyone else in the Copa, truly gave Carleto a headache for the Man City game.
Yeah, that's a good headache to have. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's get right into the predictions for the starting lineup. Javier, kind of running out of time, and yeah, let's go. Of course, for the back line, Courtois there for sure. Unless do you see a rare Lunin start for some reason.
No, no, probably not.
Yeah. And the back line has pretty much been chosen for us as well. So yeah, go ahead, break it down for us.
I mean, Militao, uh, Rudiger, Lucas, and probably Nacho. Yeah.
Mm. Really, you wouldn't want to start testing this the backline that we're going to face against City. You would see Militao start.
Yeah, because like I said, we also need to give him minutes for the match against Osasuna.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need because if Alaba is not available, I will I will stick with Militao. If Alaba was available, I will try the combination like we said, like probably Nacho and Rudiger, Nacho and Alaba plus
yeah,
either of those. But if that's the case, that Alaba is not going to be fit, so I don't see why we shouldn't start Militao. Yeah,
absolutely. And that would mean that Kamavinga finally doesn't play left back.
I truly hope not. I want, if you ask me, I want will try to bring the two Frenchmen in the middle. Like if we are gonna try something new, Chouameni plus Camavinga in the midfield. I
Yeah,
would love to watch that trial, even more that the Camavinga as a left back that we all know that it's it's good. It's not the best, but it's somehow good. But I would love to watch those two play together because, like I said, probably if you want to stop Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan and Bruno, that will be a good option, a valid option to have
yeah.
those two.
Well, if that's the case, they're not really that creative of players. Of course, Kamavinga can. Both of these players can carry the ball, but they're not known to really provide the killer pass. Who do you think is going to play at CAM or RCM?
See, I will probably put Chouamini in in the central defensive and give it a little more of a six role to Eduardo. And like you said, neither of those are so creative. So I will probably start Luca.
Wow, man, like, you're really putting the old man to work. But let me tell you, like the other option is we can play Asensio at the center of the park. He can be the player who carries the ball up the field. But then the problem is
or
who
even
start.
Ceballos.
Yes, Ceballos is a fair shout as well. He can play that same role. That was his role when he was at Betis.
Yeah, I probably would put Ceballos and also Asensio, but in the
Right
right
wing.
wing role. Yeah,
Mm. Well, yeah. And that's gonna be my preferred starting lineup as well. I feel like it's perfect. Yeah, bro. Like we do sing together. We do think alike. But
yeah, yeah.
for the left wing and striker, do you see either Vinny or Benz getting a rest?
Beanie probably not, and
Mm.
Benz I don't know. Uh, I don't know if he's fully recovered for that stump in the game against Chelsea. I know he was mad at Carleto that he subbed him, but yeah, probably if this is more of a wish more than a
Prediction.
information.
Yeah.
So, but probably I will put Rodrigo and Vini, Rodrigo,
Mm.
Vini, and Asensio, and I will rest Benzema.
Mm.
But it's
Uh,
probably not gonna happen, so I will put Benzema. Yeah,
yeah, the thing is, Carlo has a few options, especially if Benzema sits this one out. Do you see Rodrigo getting the left wing start again? Did we see that against Cadiz? Yeah. He had a really good
yeah.
performance, man. That was like one of my top favorite Rodrigo performances.
Rodrigo is so good that we tend to forget that he's a right. Yeah, sorry, a left wing. You know.
Yeah.
He plays so often in the false nine or right wing that we used to forget that he's a true left winger. No, I don't think it happened if, unless Vini is out or being sub. I
Mm.
mean, I don't see because Rodrigo has the potential to play in the right side, but Vini is not. And once again, Vini is the best left wing in the world.
Yeah.
Rodrigo is not the best left wing in the world. So if you have the option to put the best in the world, you put the best in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it just goes to see like the only unknown right now is how fit Benzema is and if Carlo decides to play. Well, yeah, there you have it. We have the starting lineup, and Dennis the Great already gave us the prediction for. He says we do have a really good record against Celta Vigo, so we're gonna beat them 3-0. Do you agree with that?
I mean, it's more on the cheerful spectrum, but yeah, I could see that happening. Like I could totally see that happening. I
Mm.
mean, we scored the first minutes, and what's the game? I think it was like one of the latest La Liga game against Valladolid. I don't compare Celta to Valladolid, but it was like, oh, we struggled for the first minutes, and then we're gonna easy slide. I would hope something in that route. 3-0 seems pretty fair. We scored like, I don't know, 12 goals in the last 4 games or so in all competitions. So three would be the average of those
Yeah,
results.
it's very true. We are in a really rich run of form. You want to give your prediction then?
Yeah, why not? I'm gonna back my guy. I will agree with Dennis, and I will give the goal scorers for the clips and the loss. I will say one defense is gonna score. I will say probably Lucas Vasquez, and one for Fede,
Wow.
and if if he starts, one for Rodrigo. If not, one for Asensio or probably Bini. I don't see Benz scoring in this game.
Yeah, like this is kind of funny to me. Like when we chose our starting lineup, like now we don't hesitate to give Asensio the starting line of spot because he has just been so good for us, and we can always like expect him to score.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I would like to see a similar result, but I'm just gonna temper my expectations a bit and say we're gonna concede one goal, and it's gonna be a
Okay.
3-1. And for me, like the thing to watch out for this match is like I feel like they're kind of scouting Gabriel Vega as well. And if he wants to move away from Celta, he is gonna have to like drop a monstrous performance. So my eyes will all be on him as well as our back line for this game.
Do you want to give your prediction of goal scorers?
Oh, sure. That is a fun one. I'm gonna say the goals aren't gonna come from midfield. I feel like Militao is gonna score one for some reason, and Asensio is a good bet, of course. The third is gonna come from Chow Mini. It's gonna be a Chow Mini
Oh,
screamer. Yeah, that's how he's gonna get
okay.
back into form.
I like the sound of it.
Yeah. Okay, so there you have it. Let me see if we have any more comments. No,
I don't think so. No.
cool. Uh, let's just do the housekeeping then. Of course, guys, if you're still here and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you'll be missing out, man. You won't get the notifications so when we go live, especially for the watch-alongs that we are planned for the upcoming UCL campaign. George is going to be doing that, so do tune in. Do have your subscribe button and notification bell turned on. In addition to that, you can also find us on all audio platforms, and especially I have to give out a hearty thanks to all of those audio platform listeners for getting us to 20K listens overall. That is a huge number, and let's just hope, we will keep putting out the content, and we just hope you like it. And we also have all of our socials. We're on Instagram and Twitter. Do give us a follow there. And also, we have our partners, Real Madrid Committee, who also have an Instagram. So do give them a shout out as well. You can chat with them. They're very nice guys. And if you want like any of your questions featured on the show, you can either come directly in the live chat, or you can either message Real Madrid Committee or our Left Area Instagram. So yeah, there you have it. You know what to say, Javier.
A la Madrid.
Hala Madrid.